Yo! All right. How's everyone? Let's see. We should be ready to rock and roll. Let's pull up channels. Boom. Yo, if you guys can hear me, put a comment in the chat box. Let me know. If my audio is sounding weird too, please let me know on that. I'm testing. I should be on the right mic, but if for whatever reason it's not sounding right, give me a holler. See, boom. All right, sweet. I see a couple of y'all. If you guys can hear me, can you let me know? Say I can hear you in the chat. Pull this up. Boom. What's up, Melissa? I see you there. All right, sweet. Just a quick check. Melissa, can you hear me all right on your end? And let me bing. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Boom. All right, we're gonna rock and roll here in just a minute or so. I'm making sure our stream's going out and everybody can hear us all right on all the different platforms. Then we'll be ready to rock. All right, boom. Okay. Think we should be all right. One last thing, and we'll jump in. You guys ever have one of those mornings where you get so excited about what you're working on that you forget to eat? Because that's the type of morning that I had. So I'm smashing a banana real fast. So you can get that. All right, sweet. What up, Billy? What up, Gus? What up, Tyler? All right. Bear with me as I eat my banana. I forgot to eat. I was excited about what I was working on. Boom. All right. Let me know how you guys are feeling in the chat. If you guys are live, put a live. If you're on the replay, put replay. I always like to know how you guys are tuning in. Whatever reason, I'm not seeing us on LinkedIn here, but it's all good. Double check on restream and we should be all right. Oh, yeah, there we are. Ah, crap. There we go. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you guys. All right. We should be good to cruise. See, sweet, we got a good crew here today. What up, everyone? Nice. We're gonna have some fun. There we are. I see a couple of y'all on LinkedIn. What's up, Jack? Sweet, man. All right. Yeah, time blindness. Interesting. I've never heard that term before. Time blindness. I have that. That is for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, one of the hardest things I found is like I get so excited about what I'm doing that I just completely lose track of time and I like forget to eat and I forget to move and like sometimes I feel like I'm just like a brain with legs. But here we are. Sweet. So I got a little bit of a different background. You guys give me some feedback too if you guys can't hear me ever or whatever. We had to just recently move out. We were having a big mold issue in our previous place, and so we put all our stuff in storage. It all kind of popped up on us in the last minute, so we ended up moving out because Adriana's pregnant and didn't want to take any chances with that. So, cool. Let's just get a quick show of hands for everyone that's here. So, let me know if y'all are sales reps or business owners. That's what I want to figure out at first. So, and if you guys are sales reps, I'd love to know if you're a setter or a closer. And I just want to kind of get a sense of who all's here and where y'all are at in the journey. And then that way I can kind of meet y'all where you're at. And so, if you guys are a sales rep, are you a setter or a closer? If you are a business owner, let me know where you're at in terms of scaling too. That helps me a little bit. All right, baller. What up, Christian? There you are, man. Okay, so Christian wants to be a setter. Nice, dude. Um, I One of the things I always encourage people is like starting with setting. So many people try and skip a step, dude. Don't skip steps is something I'm big on. Like, don't skip steps. Sweet. So sales rep, closer, account executive, have to manage full cycle. Interesting. Laura, what are you selling? I would like to know that what you got to do full cycle. So we got triage looking to become a closer. Cool. Having your fourth kid. Oh my goodness. Two. We have one right now and a pregnant lady, and I'm overwhelmed. But having a fourth, that sounds wild. But I did have one friend who said it gets easier as you go. So I would wonder if that's been your experience as well. Um, okay, sweet. So if you guys, this is your first time on one of these calls, I'll explain how it goes. If you're a regular, welcome back. I always love seeing y'all. So basically, what I like to do on these calls is I like to drop a little bit of training for you guys. And then from that, we'll usually transition into actually doing some live calls. And then once we do some live calls, I'll usually break down what I'm doing on the call so you guys can get a sense of everything. One of the big things that I do this for is to encourage y'all to never fall out of touch with your market. So many business owners, so many closers, people want to get into this ivory tower. And when they get into the ivory tower, then what happens is they lose the feel of their market. And your market has a specific feel, and you have to fall in love with your market. You have to love talking to your market. This is one of the reasons why, too, for like business owners and sales reps alike, when they're like, hey, where can I make the most money? My answer is very rarely what they expect, because you're not going to make the most money where people feel like they can make the most money. Usually, where you're going to make the most money is the thing that you would do if money were no object, right? So, what do you talk about when you just talk about things? And when money is no object, what do you naturally do? And if you just do that, you're generally going to perform the best, right? So, for some people, they love real estate, and that's what they can talk about real estate till the cows come home. Well, you should probably focus on real estate, right? Some people love fitness. They can talk about fitness till the cows come home. Then focus on fitness. For me, fitness has always kind of come secondary, to be honest, to making money and business. And I just like business more. It's a game that I'm naturally more talented at. And I just it's more fun for me than fitness. Like, I'm interested in fitness, but I don't have the same level of like passion and love about fitness and talking about it in the way that I do when it relates to making money. And so I typically find that, I perform the best on make money offers. Um, some people like talking about relationships all day long. Some people like talking about energy. Some people like talking about. So when you guys are looking for the opportunity where you're going to make the most money, you likely want to find something that you would be willing to talk about no matter what. And as you find those types of opportunities, that's where you're going to be able to really lock in. So, like, if you catch me at a party, right, when I was in college, I would always end up in the same place at a party. I'd be in the back of the corner. We'd be freestyle rapping and talking about startup business ideas and, investing and making money. That was like, somehow, if I'm at a college party, I would always end up in that position. It's I was with the guys who really liked hip hop, or the people who really liked hip hop and music and investment, and that's just what I like to talk about. And so naturally, I found that anytime I focus on those types of things, then it generally works the best. Now, um, when you guys are looking for, okay, so how are you going to lock in, make the most money on an offer? You want to find the thing that you would talk about no matter what. And when you talk about the thing that you would talk about no matter what, that's where you're going to be in love with your market. And when you're in love with your market, you're really going to get a good sense on what they're feeling, what they want, what they don't want. And if you fall out of love in your market, it's a really dangerous place to be. If you start resenting your market, you will find that you'll sabotage your own business, you'll sabotage your own sales, you'll show up in the wrong place, and you just kind of mentally will start to hate your market, and it becomes really difficult to sustain long-term success unless you're a sociopath, which if you hate someone and you're willing to take something from them over a long period of time, they'll probably put you in the sociopath bucket, right? So, but most of y'all are not. Most of y'all are good people who care about people. You want to do what you want to do. And so in order to do that, you got to fall in love with whatever your market is. And so that's why I do this, as well as just to show y'all, like, this is what I like to do. I'm sitting here talking to my market every day. It doesn't matter if you're a business owner running a multi-million dollar business. It doesn't matter if you're a closer. Y'all should still be able to pick up the phone, talk to your market, get into conversation, and just see where the fuck it goes, because you don't know necessarily where it's going to go. If you've ever been to a conference, the best conversations you have at the conference are oftentimes the one when you're waiting in line at a bathroom, right? It's not the one that you had this strategic guy or you saw the guy talk on stage or whatever. It's the random conversation that you have just out of the blue. And so same goes with this stuff. Like if you just are able to pull up your phone, especially if you get a no-show, you get someone who drops off, you just pull up your phone and you're able to call people and just say, hey, what's going on? And you can roll right into a sales conversation. This is going to get you to that point where you guys get to being full stack. How many of y'all to know what a full stack sales rep is? I just would like to get give me like a thumbs up emoji if you know, or a thumbs down emoji if you don't know what a full stack sales rep is. So just so I could get a sense, and then based on that, I'll likely explain it, or we can just roll right into what we're covering training wise today. Let me just see. So do you know what a full stack sales rep is? Sweet. Finance for construction and trucking companies, real estate investing would be great for me. That's cool. Your kids work with you as a team now. So Billy says he's close to leaving the 9 to 5, have some outstanding applications, new to the remote game, but have 8+ years of outside sales experience. Sweet, man. In terms of outside sales experience, what were you doing? Were you selling solar? Were you selling, merchant processing services door to door? Were you selling roofing, like home services? What was the actual outside sales that you were primarily doing? I would like to know that. See what else you guys got. Sweet. Okay, so it looks like some of y'all don't know what a full stack sales rep is. Sweet, Melissa. That makes a lot of sense. Um, Account manager with Coca-Cola. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So that's going to be a very different transition into this game. But it's good. So someone said, is full stack bottom of the barrel, top to the top of the ivory tower? That's a good way of putting it. So that's a pretty good way of putting it. So generally, when you're a full stack sales rep, what you're able to do is you're able to sell into a wide range of markets, but you're also able to take the entire sales process from end to end. So, uh, how many of y'all have ever heard me talk about the happy customer machine? Yep, you source your own leads, take them all the way through, and close the deal. Yes, and you can even account manage, upsell, cross-sell those deals too. And so that's a big part of it. And so that's what makes a full stack sales rep. And my goal for y'all is that you become full stack sales reps. And the rationale is I'm a big believer in self-reliance. I'm a big believer of radical ownership. I never wanted my income to depend on anyone else. I wanted that, and this is why in sports and school, I didn't play football, I didn't play basketball, I wrestled. Because when I got up off the mat, I looked in the mirror and it was either I won or I lost, right? I was 100% reliant on myself on the mat. I couldn't blame anyone for my performance. The only person I could blame was myself. And that's what I want as a sales rep as well. And so, in order to do that, the key is becoming full stack. So, you'll see a lot of teams that run set close models and they're running different types of sales processes. And one of the biggest problems I see inside of a setter closer model is it turns into a game of blame. So the setters blame the closers. They're saying, I'm setting qualified deals and they're not closing them. The closers are blaming the setters because they're saying, hey, this person's setting unqualified people. They don't have the money. They don't have the blah, 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 blah. And they feel like they're speaking the same language, but they're not speaking the same language. And that's really because both of them are refusing to be full stack, right? So you need to know how to close the sales in order to properly set the sales, but you also need to know how to set the sales in order to properly close the sales. And people want to shortcut their processes. And the shortcuts really end up hurting you in the long term, right? And the shortcuts will end up putting you in situations where you find you're out of control, you're dependent on other people, you're not at the level you want to be at. And it's easy to look around yourself and say, oh, it's because so and so didn't do their job properly, right? Which is, if you've ever been on a sports team, if you played basketball, if you played football, you played lacrosse, you played any of these soccer, you played any of these sports, baseball, whenever a team starts to do that, they say, oh, so and so didn't do it. That's why we lost the game. That's the beginning of the end for that team. That is the beginning of the end for that team, right? Because nobody's taking ownership of their experience, and as a result, they're starting to blame. The blame then erodes trust, and we find ourselves in situations that really start to suck. So I want instead to be self-reliant. I want to be on a team of other full stack with other full stack people, and then we could have smaller teams. We could be more agile. We could take bigger percentages of the sales, and then we just work in harmony and work in sync a lot better when we do that. So that's kind of the beauty of it. That's what I recommend, is going full stack inside of these games. And when you do, you guys will notice that it gives you a lot more power and a lot more control, right? So let me just show you guys one thing really fast before we transition into actually dialing here. So I'm going to pull up my screen and I'm going to share some slides and I'm going to walk y'all through this concept here, and it will help you guys understand what we do. So I have a belief, and it's something that I've seen time and time and time again, literally hundreds of times I've seen this happen. And it's a little bit counterintuitive, and it's definitely goes against the grain. So I personally believe that businesses do not grow by 10, 20% a year. I've found that businesses tend to grow in doublings and triplings. So typically what's going to happen is, if you want to grow your business, then you're going to double or triple that business in a short period of time. It's not going to grow in a little 10, 20% sort of feel. It's going to grow a lot bigger than that, a lot faster than that, and that's typically what I'm looking for. So let me just show you what I mean by this too. And boom. All right. I think y'all should potentially be able to see my screen here, and now you should be able to see this. So if you guys can see what I'm showing you here, so basically this is something that we call the happy client growth loop. And so if you guys have ever heard of a flywheel, our goal is to have a flywheel where more leads gets more clients gets more leads gets more clients, more clients gets more leads, right? And so it creates a virtuous cycle. Just like if you've ever taken a microphone and you've put it right by the speaker, how the sound starts coming out of the speaker and then it starts getting louder and louder and louder and louder. That's what we're looking to do with a business as well. And so generally it will break down into 5 key components. So the first component is lead gen, right? And so lead gen is just getting name, email, phone number, hand raiser, basically permission to reach out to someone in relationship to a specific problem or desired outcome, right? You'll hear people talk a lot about, oh, you have to solve a problem. You don't always have to solve a problem. You could solve desired outcomes, right? And that works just as well. So Richard Mill is not solving a lot of problems. They're more so getting people desired outcomes. You could always justify the problem, but for the most part, you need to know what your specific desired outcome or what um, your specific problem that you're solving is. And effectively, a lead constitutes someone who has given you permission to market to them. So they've given you a name, email, phone number, or you reached out to them, said, hey, would you be interested in this? And they said, yes, I am interested, right? Once we got that, then we've successfully navigated lead gen. So as a sales professional, if you don't know how to do lead gen and all you're doing is sitting there closing and you're at the next point down the chain or 2 points down the chain, then when this starts to go wrong, your income entirely stops. Same goes for business owners. A lot of business owners try to hire agencies too soon and they don't know how to generate leads in their own market. And a lot of times agencies will just take generic lead gen strategies instead of actual specific lead gen strategies based on your offer, your market, your niche. And so they just copy what they see other people doing, but that's not the way to do it. You have to understand why what you're doing is working or why what you're doing is not working and then really solve that. But that first problem we got to solve is our lead gen problem. Um, Anyone got a quick guess what our next one is? So let me just take a quick moment. I'm going to transition back to y'all. And then I want to know if you guys can guess what our next problem is. So once we've solved the lead gen problem, where does the problem show up next in our system? Let me see what you guys got going on. Okay, sweet. So where would the problem show up? You just solved this problem. Where do you show up? So I see sales process. Anyone else? Where would you solve this problem? Or what happens? Build value. Close. Contact. Value ladder. Not quite. Not quite. All right, cool. Let's shift gears back into it. And I'm going to break it down for you guys. All right. So boom. Now, once we're over here in lead gen, then what's going to pop up next is lead nurture. So some of y'all said value. That's a piece of it, but it's not all of it, right? So there's plenty of times people will know that what you have is good or works, but they don't want to buy from you still. So there's a few things that we need. Maybe you've heard people say know, like, and trust. That kind of would come into here. I'm a big believer, though, that everything comes down to trust mostly. I've bought plenty of stuff from people I don't know. I've bought plenty of stuff from people I don't like, but I very rarely will buy stuff from people I don't trust, right? So trust is really the key inside of lead nurture. So we need to establish some of the key beliefs that need to be held. We want to make sure that they see plenty of social proof, plenty of authority. If you guys have ever read Influence by Dr. Cialdini, he talks a lot about how at this stage of the lead nurture process, we want to give them as much social proof as possible, as well as much authority building stuff as possible. So this is where we're going to give them new ideas. We're going to talk very specifically about their problem and show that we understand them, show that we understand their worldview, show that they are speaking the same language we're speaking, and as a result, we're on the same page. One of my favorite quotes actually comes from Nelson Mandela, and he once said, if you speak to a man in a common tongue, you speak to his mind. If you speak to a man in his native tongue, you speak to his heart. It's such a powerful quote because when you're talking to an accountant, if you're talking about industry influencers, if you're talking about key events, if you're talking about magazines, if you're talking about jargon, as it relates to accounting, so fractional CFOs, or, oh, we're doing tax strategy and we're using this specific software tool, the minute you could signal that you understand their world and you understand their language, that's where they're going to say, okay, I trust this guy. Like I just had a sales call with someone yesterday. He did a great job of this with me, which is why he does as well as he does, and he can sell a lot of the bigger names, is just because he did a really good job of being like, hey, I totally get it. And when he'd recap things, he would say it in his other words, and I could just tell like this guy gets it. So lead nurture is the key here, right? So we want people to start to develop this relationship with us, feel like they can trust us, and that is the next step. So once we've got someone where they're like, okay, cool, I have this problem, I'm nurtured, I feel like I can trust them, then what becomes our next issue? So what do you guys guess is the next issue once that becomes the case? See where we're at. Boom. So what do you guys see being the next issue from here? Sweet. So Christian, I believe you said setting the appointment for the last one. Someone said my screen's frozen. Um, did y'all see the lead nurture part? Are y'all hearing me all right? It seems like I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties based on where we're at. Sweet. So I got a few qualifying. Anyone else got a guess? What becomes next? All right. Seems like my internet should be back in good. I don't know why my camera is all glitchy, but as long as you guys can hear me, that's what matters more than anything. All right. Your camera's frozen, but I saw the screen is fine. Okay, cool. Good. That's what I need to know. As long as you guys can see the screen, that's fine. I'll keep the camera off then for now, and I'll go back to the screen. I appreciate y'all for letting me know that. Boom, boom. Okay, so I saw a couple of y'all say qualify. So qualify is going to occur in lead nurture, right? Because in lead nurture, the thing that we want to do is we want to signal that we understand them. And so a big part of understanding them is showing them that, hey, this is for you or it's not for you, right? So for example, when I'm talking to business owners, and we're talking about potentially placing closers, we talk about our criteria in the lead nurture part. And so we're allowing them to self-qualify more or less. And so by just being very clear and upfront with our criteria, that's going to allow us to weed out some of these people who maybe not good fits. And so that's a big part. So qualifying is inside of the lead nurture place. And so typically by the time we're done with lead nurture, they should have a booked appointment, right? So here we've got a lead, here we've got a booked appointment by the end of this. So we've successfully taken them from, hey, I have this problem to, hey, I want to chat with you about solving this problem. Then we move into conversion. So this is the conversation where we help understand their problem and the specifics. Mainly what's going to happen is if you guys look at it like this, lead gen and lead nurture. So specifically, this part right here, especially lead nurture, should ask, does this work or will this work, right? That's what I want to answer inside of lead nurture. I want them to believe, oh yeah, I know that thing works, right? That thing works clearly. And that makes sense. I feel like that's a good, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can see how that works. That's usually what I want them to be believing by the end of lead nurture. So then once I get to conversion, the thing that we're answering is more, will it work for me? Right? So, hey, I know you worked with so and so and you got them amazing results, but I'm in Kansas in a smaller market. Do you feel like it will work for me in my market? Right? Hey, I saw your case study and I saw that you worked with, Jane about this, but you helped her save her marriage. But my husband is an alcoholic. Will it work for me? Right? So these are the typical questions. It's will it work should be solved by your marketing. Will it work for me should be solved by the sales team. But as a really badass sales rep, I want to know how to do 1, 2, and 3 on my own because then I'm not dependent on marketing doing all the work up front. If marketing doesn't do the job, I can still pull the deal. I can still make value out of my time. If I depend on marketing, then I potentially can lose 3, 4, 5, 6 months of my time by just being in situations that I can't solve the problems or I can't actually get to where I'm trying to go. I don't want to do that. I value my time too much. So that's why I want to be full stack, be able to drive through this. So conversion, this is going to be where we're going to have our strategy session potentially, or you might do it in different formats. Maybe it's a webinar, maybe it's a 5-day challenge, maybe it's a sales letter, maybe it's a Google Doc, maybe it's a whatever the conversion mechanism is. But our goal is to take them from, hey, will this work, to yes, this will work for me, right? So they know it works, but will it work for me? By the end of this, it's yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Cool, this is what I need, right? And so that's where I need them, and then they should pay. By the end of this, we get into the next phase, and the next phase I'm going to just give to you guys, but it's fulfillment, right? Or success is sometimes what we call it as well. So we have to now deliver on the promise. We have to get them from, hey, this is exactly what I need, to, hey, this is working exactly as I thought it would, right? So will this work for me? Yes, this will work for me. This is exactly what I've been looking for. You know, okay, sweet. Now this is working exactly like I wanted it to. Right? This is working exactly the way I wanted it to. At this point, then we're going to move into our next step, which is expansion. So this is getting referrals, this is cross-selling, this is upselling, this is selling the next step, this is the whole thing. And so being full stack means that you can do all parts of this process. So I can run lead gen calls. I can handle the lead nurture. I can write the copy. I can build the assets. I can record the videos. I could make a webinar. I can do whatever I need to do to get them to believe it will work. From there, I can run the conversion process, right? So I could do a triage. I could do a demo call. I can get them through a conversion process. Once they're in the conversion process, I know how onboarding works. I know how client success works. I know, because one of the things that's funny, a lot of people don't know this about fulfillment or success, is that the first thing you do once you get them to convert is you start selling them again on exactly what you sold them in conversion. Most people start saying, hey, here's what we do in terms of next steps. And that's where you'll go to die. Instead, you want to be like, oh, hey, here's what you're going to get. And so did it too. And we just start reselling right at this point. And then through that, that's going to create the emotional desire, the emotional belief that they need in order to stay in momentum and get to their outcome. Once they get to their outcome, then we need to know how to have the upgrade conversation. So how do we get them more? How do we get them faster? How do we get them bigger? How do we get them better? How do we get them whatever the thing that they're looking for? Now we want to cross-sell, upsell, and get more leads coming in. And then this creates a virtuous feedback loop where it starts to get really fun, right? Because you get more clients, and that brings more clients, and then more clients brings more clients, and before you know it, especially if your total addressable market is big enough, you guys can scale a business really fast, and you can make a lot of money. But that's what comes to being full stack. And so the thing is that I know how to do all of these things. I don't depend on anyone. And as a result, I could build any department of the business end to end, and I view fulfillment or client success as much of a sales process as I view the conversion piece. I view marketing as much of a sales process as I view the conversion piece. So many reps will get caught up only sticking in conversion or only sticking in lead nurture. So setters a lot of times will just get stuck here, or they just want to be closers, so they're so obsessed with the conversion mechanism. You'll be a lot better at conversion when you have a T shape, which a T shape means you can go broad and deep, right? So I'm super deep in conversion, but I have a broad understanding in all of these, and that's what makes me even that much better at conversion. And so this is the matter of being full stack, is that, if I need to write a headline on an ad, I know how to do it. If I need to do lead gen via LinkedIn, I know how to do it. If I need to do lead gen on Facebook, I know how to do it. If I need to then convert someone or nurture someone through content, I know how to make the content that will get them to believe what they need to believe, right? Oop, there we go. Sorry, I had it was looping on me real fast. Um, any questions on this? I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna actually get back, see if the camera's working now. But I want to see if you guys have any questions on this or what y'all got. Okay, let me pull over into the chat. Let's see what questions y'all got. Yep, balance cycle for the sales process. Interesting. I would love to know more about what you mean by that. How do you see it as a balance cycle? What up, Tom? Good to see you, man. All right. Yes, someone said I'm working on understanding the full circle. So much appreciated. It still accompanies everything in a traditional sales process, correct? Yes. So what most people think of as a traditional sales process is going to be from the lead gen, lead nurture to conversion. So most people look at lead gen, lead nurture, and conversion as sort of the sales process, and then they look at the success and the expansion as fulfillment. One of the things that occurred though in software, especially, so software is, if you study software companies, they've really evolved sales the fastest. And a big push that they made was they realized that client fulfillment or account management is actually a sales process as well. And so they're able to expand accounts through that sales process. But yes, it would accompany everything through the traditional sales process that you would be thinking about. Right? And even what a lot of people sometimes would say is marketing. How broad or deep do I need to know to get the best out of the process? So ideally, if you're a sales pro, you want to be deep in all of this, really, over time. And it's just through a matter of a lot of trial and error, constant study, always working on this stuff, um, and thinking about it a lot. Is there any direct follow-up required here? Yes, absolutely. Well, it does depend on offer to offer. Some systems are buy or die, which means like they have to buy right then and there, or else they don't get to work with you. But for the vast majority of systems, follow-up is the best way to do it, and you definitely want to have follow-up in there. And follow-up would technically land in the conversion process because they haven't fully converted until they've paid. So follow-up will oftentimes land in conversion. Sometimes follow-up will land in lead nurture too. So if they drop out of the conversion process, maybe they're just kind of sitting in the database and then they'll drop back a step into lead nurture. So that can happen as well, right? Because if they go through the sales process but they don't believe it will work for them, maybe it's I don't believe it will work for me right now, or I don't believe it will work for me because XYZ is in the way, then they can drop back into lead nurture and then you nurture them until you get them to say, hey, this will work. Okay, I want to know if it will work for me now. And so, yes, there's usually follow-up required though. But your goal for y'all is to be a full stack sales pro. People who are selling y'all the closer identity, like they're missing the boat. People who want to be closers are people who want easy money is what I typically find. And if you want easy money, you ain't gonna make a lot of it because it's just in sales, it's the highest paying hard game, lowest paying easy game, especially commission only sales. So if you get in like all the top reps I know are maniacs. They're maniacs. They'll take tons of calls, they work their ass off, and they love the game. And it doesn't feel like work because they love the game. If you don't love the game, it's going to be pretty hard. You got to love the game in order to get to where you're trying to go in this stuff. And you got to just want to do the work. Like too many people want to take shortcuts. They want to not do work. And that's the problem is when you're in a state like that, you just are not learning at the level you need to be learning at. And you can't figure out all the nuances. You can't get to the big deals. You can't get to the fun parts of the sales process. So, sweet. Any last questions on that before we shift gears? And it sucks y'all can't see me because of this freezing thing, but at least we'll be able to potentially do some dials. So I'm probably going to jump off the headset and start doing dials. All right, let's see if you guys can hear me. Turn this thing up. I'm going to pull up my CRM right now. See what leads they got coming in. Oh, this guy's good. I'm gonna add him into the CRM. I'm gonna dial him out. Would the same person be better to follow up each step in the process or hire people to delegate? I recommend being able to do it, but at times you will delegate parts of it. It depends on where they're at in the sales process or how close they are to conversion is the best way to describe it. So, you know, if someone's not very close to conversion, then likely no. If they are close to conversion, then likely yes. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna hit dials. Let's call this guy up.
Hello?
Noel.
Yes.
What up, man? How you been?
Who's calling?
It's Mike.
Mike?
Yep. We were just chatting on LinkedIn about hiring some commission-only sales reps.
Hi, Mike. Hey, Mike, do me a favor. Give me 5 minutes, man. Let me call you back. I'm just right in the middle of something with my team in the media company.
Oh, easy. Okay, give me a shout. If you want to text me on this number, you can too.
You got it, bro. Thanks for ringing me up.
All right, see you. Boom. Let's see how that goes. Work like a charm. Y'all like that? Let's see. Boop, boop. I'm not gonna wait for him to get back to me. I'm gonna just hit the next person up and see what I can do.
Hi, this is Ross DeSalt. Sorry I missed you. Please don't leave a voicemail. I never check those. Just text me and I'll get back to you soon. Hello, this is Rasa.
Rasa, how you been?
Hello?
Yep, it's Mike.
Mike who?
Mike, we were just chatting about hiring some commission-only sales reps for you.
Sorry, it might be somebody else, not me.
You do business coaching, right? Because we were chatting on LinkedIn about it. Hey, I got hung up on. Watch this. I'm going to pull this one back just to show you guys.
Sweet. All right, so I sent her a text. Basically, what I did is I screenshotted our initial conversation, and then I said, "This isn't you?" Question mark. And so we'll see how she responds. She may be a little ashamed that she hung up on me like that. So it'll be interesting to see how she responds. Sometimes when people are rude like that, they'll just be ashamed and then they don't come back. But sometimes I might have sparked enough curiosity that she's like, "Oh wait, hey, what?" So it'll be interesting to see what we get there. Yes, I know you guys can't see me still. I know it's frozen. I'm kind of bummed about that. But as long as you guys can hear me, that's all I really care about, because that is the main thing here. Okay, for the love of all things holy, you guys gotta stop with the "would you be opposed to." I just had a dude, even like the synonyms of I had a guy, "Would you be against us showing you blah blah blah?" Fucking quit that shit, you guys. You guys keep copycatting people that are too big, and then before you know it, everybody's using the same thing, and you sound like a jackass. So you gotta be cautious of that. Um, oh, this guy, I think, bro, yeah, this looks like a great lead. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna call this guy. All right, we'll see. I'm not finding a phone number for this guy, so I'm gonna see what else I could. There's this guy. Armenia. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna call this guy because it seems. Well, I can't get out to a fucking Armenian number. Okay. I'm gonna probably have to keep looking for other folks. Oh, this guy looks good.
you've reached the voicemail of Dylan Bindever. I'm sorry that I'm not available to answer your call at present. Hello, you've reached the voicemail of Dylan Bindever.
All right. Let's see who else we got. All right, sweet. I'm just responding to some of these messages here, and then I'm gonna see text messaging a few of these peeps. Okay. I think I just cleared out all the leads. Okay. Call this guy. Actually, let's see what he's got going on his website first. Okay. Ooh, no website. I'll still call him. Sometimes you never know. Like, this guy's got no website, but you just never know, so.
Hello?
Hey, Matt. How are you? Matt hung up on me. He sounded old, though. I'm gonna call him back just because I want to.
Hello?
Hey, Matt. It looks like we got disconnected. How you been? It's been a while.
Hi.
How are things?
Okay, not too bad. Who am I speaking to?
It's Mike.
Yeah, doing.
Huh?
How you doing?
Good, good. Yeah, we were chatting because you're looking at hiring some commission-based sales reps.
Oh,
Huh? You're cutting out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think.
Are you still looking to hire commission-based sales reps?
Huh?
Are you still looking to hire sales reps that close deals for you?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, we had been messaging, and it was about strategic protection.
No, everything's good.
Oh, you're not hiring sales reps?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Have a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
That guy's gotta be 100 fucking years old. I just wanted to play around and see what we could do. I'm gonna put him in my unqualified combo. Oh yeah, I forgot about this guy. I moved him boop to boop to boop boop to boop to boop. Okay. Sweet. Let's see who else we got. Yes, 20 years beyond retirement age. Okay, so Gus, I see this number. That's a Hawaiian number, just FYI. So he's probably not awake right now. Let's put time in Hawaii right now. Yeah, it's 7 a.m. I will probably dial this man in a matter of 2 hours to 3 hours is probably what I'd look. Usually I try to get in after 10, 11. Like, that's when people kind of got their morning stuff done, and then they're in a little bit of a quieter lull. And so 808 is a Hawaiian number, so if I call him right now, it's basically calling this dude at 6:59, and I get mad when people call me at that time, so I generally don't do it to most folks. Sweet. But thanks for the tip. What was this guy's name, FYI? And then that way when I call him, I know. I don't know if you. He lives on the mainland. Okay. Cool. Yeah, if he's in SD, it's probably fine. But I'm gonna give him a couple hours just cause, and we're almost at time anyway. The only thing I was wondering is what's his name? I can't. For some reason, Facebook's not showing me the comment here. Victor Bell. Okay, sweet. Sweet. Oh, looks like I already got him in the CRM, but I will take the phone number. Sweet. All right, before we wrap up, this is probably a good time to wrap up. So we ended up getting connected with Noel. He seemed like a decent guy. The Rasa lady, who knows what her story is. But at least Noel, I'll probably hit him back. He hasn't gotten back to me. I will touch base in probably another 10-15 minutes, and then we'll go from there. But before we wrap up, I just want y'all to drive home any key takeaways that you have gotten. So in the chat, just share whatever aha moments, insights are that you've been able to get from this. As well, if you guys are looking for a remote sales job, then put scale in the comments. If you're looking to hire remote sales reps, put scale in the comments. So basically, if you're looking for more help to take this thing to the next level, just put scale in the comments, and then I'll reach out and just kind of have a chat and see how you're doing and where you're at and what makes sense for you. But in the meantime, I want you guys to put what's your key takeaway? What's one actionable thing that you guys can take away from this? So that way, remember, type this out because it's going to help drive those neural synapses deeper. It's going to help you guys remember your takeaways. You can go back and review this later in the future. And just remember things that you want to keep in top of mind awareness. So make sure to drop that. I appreciate all y'all. This is fun. On that note, we will wrap up. Peace, y'all.